Welcome to Sumita Roy's English Classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy, and today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of listening. You must improve your listening in order to become a better speaker of English. Your written English and your spoken English will improve only when your listening ability improves. Many of you get impatient when you start listening. These days, we have so much listening material in the form of YouTube videos and WhatsApp forwards, Facebook presentations, and so on. You listen maybe for 30 seconds or for 5 minutes, and then you stop listening. You are making a mistake in listening because you are using passive listening. I would like all of you to change your listening to active listening. Today, I'm going to tell you all the methods of improving your English so that your ability to use the language improves. Listening is not a passive activity. First point is when you listen to English, can you understand it fully? That is what you have to ask yourself. That when I'm speaking to you in so many videos, more than 40 videos are there on this channel now. When you hear these videos, are you able to understand every part of the video? That is important. Suppose you can understand only a little, then how to improve your understanding? Not by learning from a book. Many of you ask me for books. Just a book of vocabulary or a dictionary or a grammar book is not going to help your listening abilities. You need to listen and check your understanding by listening to the same thing repeatedly. Repeatedly means again and again. So if you have a passage, suppose these videos might be half an hour or 1 hour, you don't feel like listening to the whole thing at once. Don't do that. Listen to as much as is comfortable for you. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then pause it. You have technology at your fingertips. So pause the video and then to the same passage, listen again and again. If you feel that pausing on YouTube is difficult, then you listen to the whole video once. Then you can take your own phone and record that part of the video which you would like to hear many times because you have not understood it. Suppose you have understood it, then there is no need to listen to it repeatedly. So the point is that you listen carefully first for your ability to understand. There are 2 points in understanding English or any language. If you're learning any other language, you can use the same techniques for it. Listening with only partial understanding or listening with full understanding. Now, when we say that I have understood, you might have understood all the points, all the ideas, all the facts which are given in a passage. You are listening to a passage which gives you many ideas or it gives you some information. You have understood it fully, like listening to the news. You have understood the news item fully. But what about the language? Real listening, active listening involves these 2 points. First, listening for meaning and then listening for language. The content of the video or the content of the listening passage makes you feel, oh, I have understood everything. That is great. But when you have understood it, have you analyzed how much language you have learned from the video? That is why I'm making this video today for listening, improving your listening. How are you going to improve your listening? So let us go back to the first of the videos. After an introductory video, I gave a video of pronunciation, language drill based on nouns and verbs for beginners. This was a language drill. Now, apart from the drill, where sentences are there in a table and you have to keep combining these words in different columns to make sentences, you are also hearing an explanation. The video has some slides, but the slides are not everything that is there in the video. There is also an audio part. In the videos, you can see a small size. There you can see me visually, and you can also hear my voice. Whatever is there in the slides is explained. If it is a real classroom, I could have written it on the board and you could have seen it. But since this is a virtual classroom, it is a classroom where I'm not getting to meet any of you. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible by giving you explanation. So when we go back to the first video, which I uploaded in the classroom, apart from the introductory video, which was number 1, this is number 2 and number 3. You can go up back and check it. Now, what will you do first? When you switch on that video, look at how much time it is and you watch it once completely. All the 30, 40 videos which are there, you can do that. Watch the entire video completely once. Finish. That is one level. Now you stop the video and analyze your understanding. In the video, there were 40 minutes, or there were 45 minutes, or there were 30 minutes. How much of this have I understood? This you have to clearly ask yourself. Be very honest when you evaluate yourself. You say that, okay, I have understood only 20%. Many of you who are beginners might not understand everything. No problem. Remember that you can learn a language without studying that language in school or college, or without attending a classroom online like I'm telling you to do. You don't need it. All you need is to hear that language spoken for a few months. Suppose for 6 months, people around you speak the language, then you will learn that language automatically. You might not learn it perfectly, but you will learn it a little. So, for a few months, listen to these videos again and again, even if your understanding is very limited. Today, if you listen, it might be 20%. After some time, if you listen, it might be 40, 50%. Keep measuring your understanding. After listening to it every day for 1 month, then you find out, okay, how much improvement has taken place in these 30 days. Have I become better in the use of the language after listening to it? You're doing nothing else with those videos except listening. Today, I'm concentrating only on your improving your listening. So listen carefully, listen with complete concentration, and listen actively. When one sentence is uttered, immediately say, did I understand this sentence? Then next sentence, did I understand? Where all you did not understand, you have the advantage here because timer comes. So you write down in this much time, you know, 5 minutes and 29 seconds. I could not understand that sentence at all. So you keep noting where you understood. And in your understanding, keep two columns. One is your understanding of the meaning, and the second is your understanding of language. Sometimes a pronunciation might be new. You cannot understand that pronunciation. So you have to listen to it many times because you might have been mispronouncing it all these years. So you cannot understand when it is pronounced in the way it is supposed to be pronounced. It might be a vocabulary, a word which you don't know. So the whole sentence loses its meaning because you don't know some word. It might be a grammatical structure which is new because you have been using a wrong structure there, or you could not understand a complex structure. In one video, we will do structures of English sentences also. Not now. So now you just think that which sentences you understood grammatically, vocabulary, which words you understood and you did not, pronunciation, which words you understood, which you could not. Then, wherever you are saying, no, I could not understand, please repeat that. The listening has to be repeated there as many times as is necessary. Some of you might catch it in the second go. You don't have to listen to it again and again. 2, 3 times you listen, you have perfectly mastered whatever is said, which means you have mastered the listening ability. Now, this is the first step in listening, that is understanding what is being said, understanding from the meaning point of view, and understanding from the language point of view. Now, when you have done this, when you have understood the meaning and the language, you go to the next point of active listening. I'm only talking to you about active listening. Active listening is full involvement. I have already told you, listen with full concentration. So, what is the second point you'll do? The second point is that these are the ideas which I'm getting. Are these ideas what I use all the time? Are they unfamiliar ideas? Have I learned some new facts? If you're listening to news, what is new in news today? In this way, you will first analyze the meaning and its impact on you, on your mind through listening. So, is listening helping you to get some extra information? Is it helping you to get good ideas? Is it helping you to get news or general knowledge? All these are possibilities which you have when you are talking about the second phase of listening, that is active listening. So, active listening is interacting with the passage and your knowledge. How much do I know, and how much am I learning from this listening? At this point, you will again feel, okay, let me listen to the passage once more, because some of the points which I heard may be new. I might not remember it if I hear it only once. Since this is like a classroom, you should learn to make notes. Some comment came saying, Madam, please supply notes for literature. Now, if I give you notes, then what are you going to do? What is your involvement? The person who's teaching gives you everything, digested food. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to assimilate. It never gets assimilated. Now, the food has to be eaten by you. Then it goes to the stomach and it, gets digested. Then it gives you strength to the whole body. Like that are the ideas. The ideas go to your mind and then they change what ideas you had. Suppose you had an idea about grammar earlier, now you're getting a better idea. In the literature videos, I have seen 2 or 3 people saying that they have done these texts before, but they did not do it like this. This is a wonderful analysis of listening. I must congratulate all those people, because when you listen and you find something is difficult from what you knew earlier, that is the second part of your listening activity, and that is active listening. That means you are interacting with the passage, the listening passage, and your own knowledge. That is for the meaning. Then we also have language. So when you listen to the passage, first time, usually we listen for meaning. That is why I'm telling you that although I'm posting videos regularly, please watch them again and again. Whenever you find time, go back to the old videos and watch them. Only then the benefit of listening comes to you. So, what you need to do with your listening is you have to now see that all the language items which are used in this video, are they familiar to the language which I use? Many of you tell me all the time throughout my 40 years or more of teaching that we have many ideas, but we are not able to put them into the correct language. That is because your listening is faulty. You haven't listened properly. That is why your ideas do not find language of expression. If you want to improve your speaking, if you want to improve your writing, then you must do a lot of listening. And listening from the point of view of the language improvement. So you listen to these videos. Then, as I keep telling you in every video, repeat them loudly. If they sound unfamiliar, when you repeat them, you say, I have never spoken like this. I have never uttered anything which is like this. That means these are new to you. These are the points for you to learn. In some other parts of the video, you will say, oh, whatever I'm listening to is exactly how I also speak. We always need a model. We have a model in the listening passage. Now, my speaking is exactly like the person who's speaking as I listen. So that's great. That means this item, whichever you are analyzing at present, this item of language you have perfected already. Or these aspects of learning you have perfected already. For instance, I gave you 3 videos on pronoun. Now, pronoun is so important that in every 5 sentences, we are using 5 or 10 pronouns. We cannot speak the language without using pronouns. Most of the time, the nouns are much lesser than the pronouns. They are the ones we have to concentrate on. Unless you concentrate on this, you are not going to improve your speaking. So you look at, after you have heard the pronoun videos, you look at the other videos and try to see how the pronouns are used. Are we using all the pronouns correctly? Somebody asked about WH question. There are interrogative pronouns in the second part of the pronoun video. Now, if you had listened to that video till the end, you would not have asked a question like that in some other video. You would not have said, please give WH questions. WH questions are there in 2 or 3 different videos. You have to watch the videos completely and then check which aspect of language you are learning from which video. Which video tells you that your language is already good. When you listen to something which you are already familiar with, you say, okay, this part of it is very good. You come across a difficult vocabulary word and you say, oh, I have been using this word before. You feel happy that, yes, that much of vocabulary I already know. You come across another word which might be quite simple, but you are not using it at all. That is your passive vocabulary, it is hiding at the back of your head. So now you have to bring it to the front of your head, to that part of thinking which gives the thought and the word together. So then you get the idea that, okay, this is a wonderful thing. These are the words which I know and I use them often, nothing to learn. These are the words I know, but I don't use them at all. Learning from a video which is not a video on vocabulary. So, from your listening, you can learn vocabulary also. No need to look at the dictionary if you get bored to look at the dictionary. You keep listening to the use of that word again and again. The moment that word comes, you stop and think. Then listen to it once more and once more. After you have seen 10 or 15 usages of that same word, you will know its meaning automatically. You don't really have to learn vocabulary separately. These are the natural processes of learning language for which listening is very important. Suppose you have pronunciation, similar thing you can do. A word is pronounced differently. Most of the videos I have given you the word, you can read it as I'm pronouncing it. So when you hear the word being pronounced, which is there on your screen, you find that the pronunciation is unfamiliar to you. There is a learning point from listening. The pronunciation is familiar. Suppose I say, this is a classroom. Many people say, this is a classroom because we learned alphabet A, B, C, D. So it is not, it is a classroom, it is a classroom. I must have used the word a thousands of times in these videos. Did you pay attention to it? Did you notice that if you are saying a for article, then it is wrong? You cannot say a room, a chair, a table, a laptop, a wire. You have to say a room, a table, a chair, a laptop, a wire, a window, a curtain. All these things you have to say a and not a. This is a simple pronunciation. All of us are using articles all the time, but we might be mispronouncing a simple single vowel word, which I showed you in the pronunciation videos. Now, pronunciation videos, you have to go on seeing again and again and again because it is your pronunciation which depends, which determines the respect you get. When you speak a language, if you pronounce it correctly, you get the respect which you should get. Otherwise, people find fault with your pronunciation. This is not only for English. All the movies you see where jokes are made about language pronunciation is, basically some wrong pronunciation. This change you have to remember to make, and therefore the pronunciation videos are very important for you to listen and practice. Listen to the video, I have left space, you say it aloud. Just listening in pronunciation will not help you, but it will help you to realize what you are mispronouncing. Suppose you have sit and seat, SIT and SEAT. If both the words are different, if you change the pronunciation, you instead of saying sit, if you say seat, instead of saying seat, if you say sit, then you are making a mistake. These simple mistakes make your good English into bad English. And that is why listening is so important. We also have grammar. Structures of language come to you by listening. How to improve your grammar? Many people say, Madam, give me a grammar book. The grammar book cannot improve your grammar as much as listening can improve it. Keep listening to the same thing again and again. You take 10 sentences. Those 10 sentences you listen 10 times. Those 10 sentences will become embedded in your mind. They will become a part of your mind. The files which are there in your hard disk, your mental hard disk, will get more and more grammar structures. Noun, pronoun, and auxiliary verbs we have finished. Now, can you go back to all the videos which I have uploaded on the English classroom and check out how many nouns there are, how many pronouns there are, and how many verbs there are in each of the videos, in each sentence, what is there? Are you familiar with these nouns, pronouns, and auxiliary verbs, how they are used? I'm not talking about meaning here. I'm talking about their usage, which is grammar. So we can look at this, learn those structures, learn the usages of those, you know, grammar points in ordinary passages or ordinary sentences in our listening so that they become a part of our memory. Now, as far as the classroom is concerned, I'm giving you two things. I'm giving you listening and reading together. I hope all of you have realized this, that the slides are in front of you, my voice and my picture is there in front of you. So you are seeing it and you are hearing it. This is very important because these two parts of our body, listening and seeing, these are the basic learning tools. I'll do another video on reading, the importance of reading, and I'll tell you more about it. But this is a video about listening. So listen actively. Listen first for meaning and then for language. Listen for improving your understanding and your language, for acquiring new ideas, and also for improving the mistakes in language you make, vocabulary, pronunciation, structures, all will improve if you are careful in your listening. I hope all of you will listen. Whatever you listen to, whenever you listen to any English, please think of this active listening package and do all the 4 activities which I have shown you. I hope all of you improve your listening before you start embarking on good English speaking. Thank you and all the best.